in this scenario, I was playing the bad guy, and he was the good guy defending himself with a kinetic launcher. Well, I did an old trick, and basically I'll explain it step by step, but as I was coming in, I quickly put a visor with my own hand. I'm staring at his feet there. He didn't know what I was going to do. I didn't tell him what I was going to do. So I just said react like you normally would when we were off camera. Now, I came in, as he's moving away from me, I got him in the arm. And what you didn't see, because he told me after it was over, is one of my shots was straight to the chest. So he's moving back, I'm moving forward. It's like this. He can only go so far, and there's a wall behind him before I catch up. All right, you can go out. So now I'm going to explain it to you a few more details here. All right, so when I went in, I made a visor, I looked at his feet, and I just followed the feet, and that's why the whole time I was able to track him. Now, I know what some of you are probably thinking right now. Well, he has eye protection on, and his partner wasn't shooting any projectiles at him. Yes, you're absolutely right. Because one, I'm doing this to explain how to do it, and I'm not going to get injured for this, and that's why eye protection. Anytime you have training like this, you need eye protection. Now, plus I've been hit with these paintballs many times. They hurt without protection. And you could also catch one in the throat, and that could be very dangerous as well. You could have some serious damage. So obviously, now we're talking about real situation. In a real situation, he may or may not have on eye protection. He might have on sunglasses. He may have on ballistic glasses. So you have to, if you're defending yourself, you have to know that's a possibility. And if he suddenly realizes these are not real rounds hitting him, but kinetic balls or pepper balls, he might hesitate for a second, and then when he realizes, wait, this is not the real deal, I could take 1 or 2, 5, but I'm going to get that guy. So you have to think about that. People still sometimes keep going even when they get shot with real rounds. So you have to always have plan B. All right, now, if you don't have eye protection, whether it's the bad guy coming at you or whether you're going after somebody, you're the good guy going after someone who has a kinetic launcher. You may have to do this to somebody who's hitting you. So it works both ways. But if you're the good guy who has to go after that person with a projectile, first of all, right away, make a visor with your hands. Now, it's enough to cover the eyes, but when I bend over, now I'm pretty much covering the whole face, right? I'm covering everything down to the chin. I could take a few to the head. It's going to hurt, but that's not going to stop me. I can't take any to the eye. I don't want to take one to the throat. And so that's why I'm using this visor. And I'm coming in and I'm just tracking. Once I get on hold of him, his gun is worthless. Now, this is the same principle if someone was going to get you with pepper spray, or they have a handful of dirt and they're going to throw it at you, or a handful of snow. Hey, once you make that visor and go in quick, if we're at a normal attack range, anywhere from 3 meters to 5 meters, 7 meters, 21 feet max, he's going to get off probably at most 5 rounds. And I could take 5 kinetic ball rounds. I could take some pepper ball rounds. It's not going to be pleasant, but I know I could survive it. Now, as I said in the beginning, someone who's never experienced this, they're going to think they're really getting shot, or maybe they're not dying, but they're hurting. So it's a good self-defense weapon for that purpose. Now, you got to remember, police have been carrying these kind of instruments for almost 2 decades now. And they've really gotten popular with the civilian population recently. So, as a police officer, I don't rely on less lethal. Less lethal is my first go-to if I can. And I pepper spray someone, I tase them, I hit them with kinetic round. But you got to remember, police are always ready to back it up with lethal force. So if I hit someone, and usually it's going to be either me and my partner's covering me, or I'm covering my partner, someone has less lethal, the other one's ready with lethal. Well, if you're a civilian, you're going to have your less lethal out. What is your lethal option? Well, maybe your option is you know you're not going to use lethal force, so you turn around and run, or you barricade yourself, whatever the case may be. If you do have lethal, maybe you have a knife, maybe you have some other instrument, improvised weapon, because you're in a country that doesn't allow firearms. Well, you better have plan B. So whatever your situation is, don't rely 100% on less lethal weapons. Always have a backup, even if that backup is running and getting out of the way. Hi, Jim Wagner here, your tactics and survival instructor. And what we're going to do today is we're going to see how a kinetic launcher works. What's a kinetic launcher? Basically, it's a glorified paint gun for self-defense. Now, the first thing you need is eye protection. I have wraparound eye protection. I'm going to put that on because even though this is a less lethal weapon, if it puts out an eye or it breaks larynx in your throat or gives you permanent damage, which it can, then it is considered a less lethal weapon that has become a lethal weapon. Now, some of the companies are calling them non-lethal. And I'm telling you, from a law perspective, there's no such thing as non-lethal when it comes to a weapon. All weapons could become lethal. So start calling it less lethal, because there is a possibility it could become lethal. Well, anyway, come on down here. This is one of them, and this one is all black, although they come in different colors. Some of them are half orange, all orange, blue, whatever. This is the magazine. Now, the CO2 cartridge is inside here, and we'll show you later what that looks like. And then you have a magazine. Over here you have different type of rounds. So this one is hard plastic. This one here, hard plastic, made of a polymer. This one is an actual pepper ball. This will release a pepper gas. And this one here is an aluminum ball. And so I'm going to demonstrate, first of all, some paintballs, show you that a regular 68 caliber paintball could go through this with no problem. And like I said, it's a glorified paint gun, but many people are using these now for self-defense. So let's go over to the wall where I'll demonstrate. All right, so I have one of my students here. He's standing here. I'm not going to shoot him. I'm going to shoot the shadow. And I'm going to start off with paintballs first, 68 caliber. That's going to go in here. Now, I'm going to take 3 steps, which is 1, 2, 3. This is where most self-defense shootings happen, within 9 feet or 3 meters. So this is, think about it, this would be in someone's bedroom, the distance, in a hallway. This is the average shot for most self-defense situations. So I'm going to load it up and finger on the ammunition, stick it in, tap it, and it's on fire. I've already set the selector for fire, and then I aim for the center mass. And as you can see, very accurate. I was shooting center mass, and at this distance for the average self-defense, very accurate. I'm gonna fire a few more headshots. All right, now what I have are 68 caliber pepper balls, but it's inert. There's no actual irritant inside. It's just going to be some powder, and it's going to simulate. So I'm going to fire a few rounds next to my student here just to show you how it would look, and then we're going to fire a real one just to see what the effects are. So I'm loading this up. I'm putting it on fire, and now turning around, and I'm going to fire a few by the door. So my next student, he's going to watch it impact. The moment it impacts, he's purposely going to walk into it, because if it shifts towards him, he's got it. If it moves away from him, he's going to walk into it. So I'm going to do it close enough that he gets the full effect. And he wants to do it because this is his new purchase, and he wants to know if it's going to incapacitate a bad guy. So I will give the command fire, and then you'll walk right into it. So take one step forward and stop. More. And get ready. Here we go. Fire. Stop. More.
There you go.
All right. I was about 6 feet away, 2 meters away, and because my student, he was staying in there. I was trying to get him out of there. And then when I stepped towards it, I got a good whiff of it. Reminded me of my U.S. Army days with NBC training with CS and CN gas. Yeah, it's just like that. It's truly a pepper powder. It is an irritant. Now, if someone like me, who has had the training, or a bad guy who's inoculated himself, they could get used to this. So the average person, yeah, it's going to freak them out. They're going to run away. They're going to get away from it. But if you got a hardened criminal or a former soldier, yeah, I could take a few in the chest or maybe the head and it's all over. He's still going to attack you. But again, it has its pros and its cons like any less lethal weapon. Now, one more thing that just came up when we stopped filming, and that is we had a quick discussion. Some points were brought up, and of course my student who experienced it realizes, he says, yeah, if I shot this in my house, I'm going to be contaminated. So obviously shooting it indoors, not the best idea. This is more of an outdoor thing, or you know, like a wolf, you know, or a coyote. I mean, you shoot it towards them outdoors, yeah, that will make them flee, hopefully. But shooting a criminal in your house, you're going to get it. If you have family, they're going to get it. Now, what about outdoors? If I do shoot somebody, you got to make sure there's nobody else around, meaning innocent civilians, what we call neutrals. And so this stuff goes wherever the wind's going to take it. And you got to make sure you, because that gas was probably about 7 meters that spread out, because when I got away from it, I was still feeling the effects even 7 meters away. So again, you saw it for yourself. This was not rehearsed. We just did it. And I told them, yeah, these pepper balls work really well. Very good for outdoor self-defense. All right, what we're going to do now is I have 2 type of training rounds. One is a more of a rubbery feel, softer, and then we have a polymer, very hard plastic. Now, this one says it's for training only, and on the box that this one came in, the polymer, it says for self-defense. This is the kinetic round. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to first put in the polymer into the magazine, and then I will put in the training round. And soon as we start, soon as she's going to fire, we're going to look at the cardboard silhouette that she's going to shoot at and see what kind of damage is done. So lock and load. And then it's on fire. All right, I'm going to move out of the way and get ready and fire. And now the second one. Wow. All right, to the right is the first shot, and then to the left is the second on cardboard. And as you can see, it went clean through, and oh yeah, that would hurt. All right, we're going to do another experiment. This time we have 1/2-inch drywall, the stuff you would see in a residential dwelling. And I'm going to load up first with the aluminum ball, 68 caliber. So I'm going to put that in the magazine now. It's solid aluminum, and it's like a musket ball. Then I'm going to put in the polymer, the kinetic round. That's the one that's recommended for self-defense. Obviously, we're indoors, no pepper balls. And then I'm going to load in the training one that, as you saw, it breaks apart. So if it hits something hard, it breaks apart. But again, it's only for training. So I have, I'm going to shoot here, low center mass, and we'll see if there's any damage caused. We'll see the front side, then the back side. So I'm going to get the weapon now and get ready. Is it going?
Yep.
Okay. All right, so it dented it. It did not go through. The first one was there with the practice round. Next one was the kinetic round, the polymer, which was this one, the lower one. And then the aluminum, solid aluminum. And it's a little bit deeper, but not a whole lot. Now, the interesting thing about this is it took 3 times. It just, I guess it was too heavy, and eventually it took. But obviously, I'm thinking this particular manufacturer didn't design it for heavier rounds like this. So obviously, it was designed for the polymer kinetic rounds. But nonetheless, again, as a self-defense weapon, it's loud. It doesn't exactly sound quite like a firearm, like a 9mm or 45 caliber. But you know, in stress, the bad guy's coming at you. He hears bang, bang, bang. Maybe not, and again, he may not have a whole lot of experience himself with weapons other than he's been to the range a couple times. So he may perceive it as a real gun. And if you get hit hard, yeah, you would think for a moment you got shot. Now, I've been in plenty of paintball games and training, and also with simunition training with the military and police. And there's been times where I got hit and it got between the armor or something, and I was sucking wind. It felt like a real round for a second, but then finally your mind realizes, okay, this is not a real round, and you go back to the task at hand. But you could see, very good effect. And of course, here's the back side. Nope, didn't go through. All right, now taking a closer look, imagine if this was human flesh and muscle. I mean, if this is solid and it's a 1/2 inch, right? This is going to definitely cause trauma to the muscle. Okay, it may break skin. It's not going to go through the body, but it's definitely going to hurt. Now, if someone gets it in the eye, that's where it becomes lethal again, because that will put out an eye with no problem. And again, I don't know how well you could see it here, but you could see where the shock front just pressed out the back of it. And if it weren't for this paper that's adhered to the gypsum, it would have come probably completely out. But there's a lot of force there. And again, it performed the way it was supposed to. All right, I have a drill called fighting while being shot, and I'm going to use a kinetic launcher to do it, but it's only going to be for you instructors who are members on this channel.